Yo, whoa, hey, we're live. Hey, welcome
Oh,
back, everybody, to the Baddy Overwatch League Season 6, Week number 6, Game 3. Casters 30 and...
Ajaz 0, folks. 12-0 on the season when we don't have extenuating circumstances. Championship incoming. You'll all never hear the end of it. But what you will hear, at least temporarily, is Fine Dining and Breathing and Pray and Spray. And this is the match I think I was most excited about for the week. Hence the reason why I requested the commissioner to put me on this one. And I think these teams are both ready to play. Awesome. So this match, if you guys were here last week, it was a 3-0 for Fine Dining and Breathing. It was the closest of the 3-0s at the least. And roster situations, Checkers was not available for Pray and Spray. She's back this week. But for Fine Dining and Breathing, they are missing Vampy Worm, who has been one of their flex players on this crazy 4 DPS team.
Yeah, and unfortunately, no Tasty either for the side of Pray and Spray, it appears. So, going to be a little bit weak on the DPS side for them going into this match. But yeah, it should be a little bit closer than last week, like you said. Even last week was a tiny bit close, but this one should be probably the most competitive match tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, and I'm hoping it's gonna be a fun one. I think both of these teams have pretty fun playstyles, especially FDAB. They're winning my heart, man.
I think they won the hearts of all the fans with their Hammond plus DPS composition.
Dude, they're literally just playing quick play, and they're playing it well. I mean, in the last 3 weeks, they have gone 8 out of 9 maps. Now, I mean, obviously they played against the 2 bottom teams in that stretch, but that's still a lot better than the season was starting for them.
Yeah, that's for sure. They really figured out how to play together and play this sort of wacky, wonky strat that sort of thrives on chaos and disorganization from the other team, but they thrive in it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so they're not quite starting with. They got Narissa Hogg here on the defense. On the offense, we've got Dive Ryan comp. I mean, pretty normal for Pray and Spray stuff. Spades has almost exclusively been on that Reinhardt, so I'm not too surprised to see a nice situation.
Interesting. I have not seen Genji Doomfist in a very long time, at least together as the divers, but here they are, going in. Salvo's already going to get D-Max here.
Genji was up there kind of doing work. He got Abelight's Anna eliminated, so we've got a 5v5 with Salvo as a baby diva right now. Ooh, Albino Joe going down. Now here comes Virtual Riot on the flank. This is going to end with Pray and Spray being wiped up down here in the death room as Dirty Dan's just chucking bobs in.
They're cut off, but it looks like they are able to make the retreat out of the alleyway with the 4 members there.
Yeah, no one quite wanted to commit to that from FDAB.
Ooh, yeah, they got the full, the yoink into full combos going.
Yeah, there's just a lot of damage being taken by Pray and Spray right now. They're having trouble setting up the sentry, but they get the res off, so 6v6 again, as they're kind of getting topped off here. We do have Crystallize and Senpai in the Widow duel, as Headreaver again going on, gets slept, but he is going to make it out this time. Although, no, he is not. Wacky Tabaki finishing the job. Salvo losing his mech at the same time, and this is just easy game, easy life for FDAB, as Josh Dinkin is just mopping up. That is a whole hog.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of hog coming out of Josh Danko tonight. Really disorganized stuff from Pray and Spray, and Josh Danko's really just capitalizing on that, going rogue in the hooks.
Yeah, we've definitely seen this out of Pray and Spray some of the weeks. I feel like they're a little slow to get rolling a lot of the time. And we kind of see some of these really disorganized fights. And the start of the night is, God, Headreaver, I have never seen one Doomfist get hooked so many times. And it looks like Pray and Spray feel like they have to commit to this, but they've already lost a match. Oh! He's at 30, Dan!
Yeah, that'll do it for that push. 2 minutes, a little under 2 minutes left for Pray and Spray on this attack on Hollywood.
They only had to commit 2 ults for that. It was just a Tyre and Infrasight before the fight even really started. There's still got plenty of people closing in on all, so they'll have 3 here in a moment. Sorry, I take that back. They had Wacky Tabaki, the Orisa battery was down as well. But
Nano Boost and Transcendence will do really well here for the defense, and Virtual Riot, like you said, will have a whole hog coming up again.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a Nano Hog, assuming they can get that combo set up. Pray and Spray, they're rushing on, they're using the Transcendence to get on this point, but they still lost Checkers! Oh no, a headshot out of Crystallize! It's a 1-for-1 now as Cuban Pete is matching with the transcendence of his own. Still a 5 vs 5 on this point as Brand Spray is just kind of surrounding the point, but Virtual Riot does go down. The whole log did nothing. The Nano Boost went out, but I don't know if it did a whole lot. His Spades was too far back for that hammer to connect. Now Salvo does get the drop of the bomb, but Dirty Dan is fragging out again. Salvo gets Evil Light, and I think that FDAB are going to hold on to this one.
Yeah, wow, what a crazy disjointed fight once again. Like, everyone's just scattered throughout the point. I'm not even quite sure what the objective is for either team in any of these fights.
That could have been a big pick. Senpai does get the shot on the Crystallize, so they will have a 6v5 for Brand Spray. What could be the last fight of the game here if they lose it. So everyone's marching in. Dirty Dan down as well, so he's not getting the tire off. This is a 6v4. If they can't win this one, they do not deserve this point. But Head Reaver goes down pretty early yet again. Salvo very low, but it looks like he's trying his damnedest to hold on to his neck. But he gets slapped. No, he's holding on. And it's more members of FDAB going down. They lose Cuban and Wacky. That's a healer, but now Checkers is down. The only healing available is Albino Joe on this Lucio. Not a lot of healing up when his Virtual Riot is popping this whole long. It's doing some good damage. He gets stunned, but it's so slow. Head Reaver dies twice in this fight. Dirty Dan dies twice in this fight. Albino Joe now down, but Senpai High Noon doesn't find anyone. Mercy wants to get back to this point to top people off, but she won't make it. Fine dining and breathing. Do not give up a single tick.
Wowzers. Just some incredible outplays, honestly, from the FDAB side. Pray and Spray, maybe not quick enough on the team comp switches here to sort of counter what FDAB was rolling out, but honestly, Josh Danko just kind of hard carried it with hooks.
He is so good. Every time, like, it was hard to watch anybody else because no matter what Josh was doing, I feel like I was just watching him play his ass off.
Yeah, even in that last fight, Head Reaver did go down early, or sorry, whoever was playing Hog on their side, might have been Head Reaver, but he got killed early, and Checkers goes for the res, Josh Danko hooks her out, and then Albino Joe on the Lucio, or whoever's playing Lucio, gets slept and then hooked in for a kill as well. So he's just confirming all of these kills for FDAB.
Yeah, it was really well done out of them, and you know, who needs strategy when you can just outplay?
Ready for
Yeah, that seems to be the FDAB motto, at least
I
here
love
on
it.
map 1. But yeah, Pray and Spray, they're going to roll out with something more traditional, at least in the BOL standard, and it's going to be a bunker comp.
attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
How do you feel about bunker in this situation where you lose if you give up a tick?
I mean, I feel pretty indifferent about it because if this is, you know, the best strat that a team can pull out on a defense, and they might as well run it. Probably not, for how disorganized they've been playing, I think this is probably good for them. They'll at least focus up and play as a team. But yeah, I do agree, the sentiment is, it is really tough to survive the whole time with bunker.
Well, especially because it looks like FDAB here, they are starting with the double bombs here, so they're going to have a lot of shield break to work through this Orisa barrier.
Yep, they expected this. I mean, this is smart out of FDAB. I mean, most teams do run a bunker here. I'm pretty sure almost every team tonight has run a bunker except for maybe my team. So, and FDAB, I suppose, on defense. So at least a bastion, to say the least. But Senpai just sitting behind the shield, all nice and pretty. Evo Light looking for an alley flank here. Actually, Backy's on the ball here, just rolling in. But they've rotated onto the point. The Baptiste field comes out, and that's going to be a very long cooldown. Let's see if FDAB can maybe capitalize on that.
Josh is just peeking around on the
Oh
flank,
my
and there we go.
God.
It's a big kill.
Flanker Hog strikes again, but without the Baptiste, it's going to be really tough to do here. Spade's going to get DMAC, but Senpai at least coming through, taking out that ball, and he does have the tank form. This could be the saving ult here, but it looks like FDAB is respecting this, and they are backing way up and not giving any more kills over to the Bastion.
Does Bastion just have too much health to get killed by the Roadhog combo?
Yeah, with the armor.
There was before that fight started, Virtual Riot got a huge hook. Well, we might not have time to break this down because these teams are still fighting.
Yeah, the grid comes out from the red side. Pray and Spray, but Evil Light is up in the air, completely uncontested. Here's the barrage to really finish it off. Senpai going down, and Checkers going for the Desperation Res, but that will be all she wrote, folks. Hollywood going over to Fine Dining and Breathing.
Yeah, they just were a clear step ahead of Pray and Spray there.
Well, see what the play of the game is here. Of course. Virtual Riot, Josh Danko on the Roadhog. Oh yeah, and this huge whole hog here. on the stairs of juice. Big money, no whammy. The chain slap at the end!
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary of how Josh Dinko's map went.
Yeah. Alright, well, that was a quick Hollywood. Moving over to Route 66, an escort map. Probably we'll see some bunker again. Depends on where they set the bunker up. Obviously, most teams will go into big girls there. But last match we did see some lower tunnel holding. Minus the Bastion, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty disrespectful strat holding in that tunnel, especially if you alert the opposing teams during game 1 that you're going to run it. But it's pretty tough to break because you can challenge the cart from in that tunnel, and if it's going well, it's very, very oppressive. My team has run it both times we played Route 66 this season. I'm a big fan of that hold. But I got a feeling we're not going to see it here.
Nah, probably not.
It's a Drew strat, to say the least. We'll see Pray and Spray what they got up their sleeves here. If hopefully they're not feeling too down and out without Tasty, who has been playing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the premier DPS players in the league. Really a big force on this Pray and Spray team, especially with Senpai and Tasty at the helm for DPS. It turned into a very scary threat, with Checkers always there, sort of damage boosting either one. So it seems like they've had to get a little creative this match. At least with their role swapping.
Ready for battle.
Oh no. It might be happening. Please let it happen.
FDAB would do this.
Oh yeah, FDAB would totally do this. I just don't think have we seen Wacky Tobacco Symmetra?
Have we seen anybody play Symmetra?
Amount of time. Huh?
I've heard stories about this.
Oh god, he plays Symmetra, yeah, dude.
But no, I don't think we've seen it in BOL yet.
Oh boy, get ready. This should be a treat. And yeah, this is definitely holding. There's 10 seconds left here, and Wacky Tobacco gonna set up some cheeky turrets at the start here to build a small charge. But he is gonna be paired with the other builder, Torbjorn. Gonna be running behind this Orisa shield on top of Big Earls. So some standard stuff there, except for the Symmetra. Pain Spray, they're gonna run in Senpai on this Widow. Pretty standard sniper pick here as well. And Head Reaper on the Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper is not gonna be in for a super good time here. As
yeah.
Hart
Very interesting pick on Route 66 first point, just in general, but I guess maybe he was expecting some tunnel action. But maybe he's trying to get a good flank going. Yeah, it looks like he is already. He's on the flank. Oh, but Virtual Riot gonna finish him off. The flank is over.
F
in the chat, folks. Is Rain Spray. They have stalled out the cart now with only 5 members strong here. Salvo on the side here in this Roadhog, just trying to chip away this Orisa shield, but Virtual Riot hooks in Albino Joe. It's gonna be another death for Rain Spray as they have to look for the regroup here. Wacky Tobacco getting really cheeky, teleporting in and assassinating Senpai on the Raptor. A hammer kill onto Salvo.
Yeah, FDAB just going through the motions here, mopping this up on the card. As Head Reaper's gonna try to make it out of this one, but he will not be able to. As it looked yet another super disjointed fight out of Rain Spray. Reinhardt out of Spades was solo pushing the cart for a while. Maybe not how Coach draws that one up. And now they're going to be playing at ult disadvantage here as we've got the builder ults available.
Yeah, this could get pretty crazy here. I wonder which one they're going to use first. And there's the answer to my question. Virtual Riot with the Molten Low, but Salvo ends it prematurely. Some good hooking work out of Salvo.
Oh, did Cuban Pete just walk too far from the corpse there? I think he interrupted his own res.
Oh,
now
no.
Spade's going forward. He gets a big hammer into a big fire strike. He's nanoed. He's M1ing, and Head Reaper's there. He's got M1 too. Somebody stop them from pressing these mouse keys because that's nearly a team kill. Wacky makes it onto his card with the teleporter, but he's just stalling for funsies, and now he goes down, and it's first point going over to Pray and Spray.
Oof, tough. I mean, they could have held that for I think a long time there if they would have gotten their ults out. At least all the 4 other ults. They had the sim and the Torb ult right at the beginning of the fight. But like you said, Cuban Pete maybe missing a crucial res there on his corresponding healer. But they do have 4 ults for this Street Souls here. Huge anti coming out. Holy moly.
Yeah, maybe from too far downtown to capitalize. Unfortunately for them.
Oh,
As,
Salvo tried the flank hog with limited success.
Head Reaver is up here on the flank with Death Blossom available. I don't think he's been scouted out, so this could be the one to watch for, but they've lost Senpai, and Head Reaver, I think he's just going for it. Even though his team is down a few, he doesn't give a damn because he's gonna kill a turret, and it's the offense gonna keep moving this card.
I mean, who would expect that, right? You kill 2 members of the enemy team and you expect the Death Blossom then?
Cuban Pete, despite losing almost his whole team, pops the Valkyrie trying to hold here. He's got the gun out. I don't know if he wants to run, if he wants to contest. Very confusing Mercy micro there, but now this cart, because of how late that stagger was, it's going to be hard to contest here for point 2.
Yeah, Frame Spray gaining some momentum here. Finding a comp that works. Head Reaper on the Reaper, surprisingly doing very well. I mean, he's really just playing the flank game at this point,
Yeah,
right?
I'm liking it. And a series of just huge tactical misplays out of FDAB gives up 2 points. They could still be holding the first point if they had done this properly, but they do lose Head Reaper here. Another big anti out of Checkers. But once again, no one's quite close enough to do anything with it, but there we go! Hook! Kill!
Oh yeah, I would not want to try to out-hog Josh on this map or any map, or really just in general.
Yeah,
I would find ways to try to counter his hog at this point.
Yeah,
Oh, Spade's going in with a huge charge there, but he gets slept before he can reach the target, and now he's getting tactical crouched on. FDAB having a lot of fun with their food here.
Yeah, yeah, we could still be looking at a pretty explosive fight soon, as there are a lot of ults available for Spray and Spray. They're closing in on all 6. But Senpai does go down, and Crystallize does have sights available. Head Reaver down 2, so despite this huge ult advantage, this is buying time for FDAB to try to match them on the economy.
Oh yeah, and Head Reaver is close to the Death Blossom, and they will reach the holy saga of 6 ults.
Yeah, they have the Beyblade available.
Here it
Here
is,
we go.
barrier to start it off. Senpai with the Deadeye in the back, and it is super effective. No shields to hide behind. Takes out 3 squishies, and this should be a 1 fight for Prain Spray. Whack to back, he's just rolling away in the back. Don't forget about him, he'll be back.
This is super big for Prain Spray too, because they had 6 ults, they only had to use 3 here. 3 ults is enough to win a lot of fights on their own, and they're 1 fight away from taking this map. So they still have that Beyblade available, that whole hog available as well. Is Ram Salvo pushing forward, getting hooked. That prayer. Oh, is it gonna be enough? No, that prayer is no longer a sprayer. Neither is Albino Joe, as it's a 6v4 in favor of FDAB right here. Big hog on a Virtual Riot's gonna disengage that fight.
Yep, so FDAB definitely having the advantage there, and that big purple on the salvo was really the ticket to get that first pick and just roll on through. They used mines and the whole hog there. But it looks like they're gonna have a tire up for this next bush, which is pretty deadly here. A lot of nooks and crannies to sort of roll around in. Be pretty evasive, but actually, he is in the back. He just got slept though, so go no self. Just wakes him up.
F.
Yeah. And
That's a there's
oh, the
hook
chain
slap.
slap kill.
Yeah, and it looks like that's what FDAB wants to go in on. They do lose Crystallize while this is occurring, so it's a 5v5, but Wacky is in there nice and deep, maybe too deep, because he goes down. This is advantage for Spray again, but now they lose Checkers. That's the main healer. This is going to be a very difficult fight, as Spades, looking for a hammer, does not find anyone with it. Salvo clearing a path in front of his team, whipping hooks like it's his second job. But his team still finding kills as Wacky. He needs to challenge this cart. He's been nanos, but Head Reaver, oh no, gets headshot. 1 die is not enough.
Here's that tire. It could be huge. Turning in, looking for it. Will get up Albino Joe, so a support kill will make it worth it. Prain Spray, I don't think they're going to get too much out of this 1 push here, as their tanks are sort of spread out, and they will go down here slowly but surely.
Just being staggered here to end things up.
Self chugging his E. Don't press the abilities, just die.
You wanted the ult charge, dude. So we do see
true.
one swap.
You're true. That does give him alt charge as well. I suppose.
So Checkers is swapping over to the Mercy here.
No one can hide.
I like that. I don't feel like this Ana's been super effective for this team. But they are looking into ult disadvantage again. They don't have any of, well, other than Sound Barrier, they don't have any of their big ults available. As Wacky is going in nice and deep. Area denied. Kills Albino Joe. No Sound Barrier coming out here as Wacky finds 2, finds 3 with that minefield. Now with 45 seconds to play, Pray and Spray is really coming down against the wire here. They have 2 who look like they're not going to be able to get out. Checkers is just hiding over here in no man's land.
Oh my god, she is.
No one ever looks in the office. Oh, but there goes.
Oh no!
These are Checkers. No!
Oh no! Oh wait a minute!
Oh, Checkers,
She
you're a
traded.
monster!
She traded.
It probably wasn't worth, but it was cool.
Oh, I
Now
think
it's crystallized.
it corrects it. It makes it kind of worth.
Wacky Tabaki is in here trying to just maybe secure some high ground from Head Reaver, but Pray and Spray has made it onto this cart. They've got a hook on the Virtual Riot. How does he make it out of that one? But Checkers comes in, she gets the res on his Senpai, and Pray and Spray, they're moving this cart. Virtual Riot's down, that transcends over QP does not save his superstar. Evil Light looking for it. Senpai looking for it. Senpai finding it. And this cart is still moving. This is big man advantage for Pray and Spray. They've got 1 fight to go. They're getting good figures with Wacky Tabaki with a big knockup, a big minefield potentially. Pray and Spray, be careful. No, they're not going to run into those mines. There's a lot of purple, but they're not quite dying. They get the kill onto Senpai. Hooks being traded as this is buying a lot of time response. Now it's Senpai and Checkers down. This is bad for Pray and Spray from a talent standpoint as this tire is coming out. Dirty Dan wants to try to end this. Finds space. Head Reaver, he's had big ults, but this one only finds 1. I don't think that's going to be enough as Pray and Spray being outmanned on this card. It's Albino Joe and Salvo. Salvo with the whole, no, Salvo being whole hogged. And I think this one is going to be over. Pray and Spray comes so close to the end. But a last minefield comes out. Tracer cannot trace hard enough, and Pray and Spray only gets 2.5.
Yeah, tough cookies there at the end there, but the
Score.
minefield at the end for Wacky Tabaki, very good for the stalling. And they didn't really push the cart when it was really just him alive or maybe just a few more dead. And kind of just got staggered. Virtual Riot though, Josh Danko, he comes out, he gets the hook kill right away, and that pretty much spells the end of it.
Yeah, and there were a few fights there where I thought Pray and Spray had it. And
Yeah.
then they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, honestly, I guess Tasty out of the lineup, it might just be that little extra something to push them over the edge. Yeah, it's tough to say.
Tasty does add an extra, just variable of outplay potential that, with how it's been a lot of these fights, it's as they're breaking down when the focus calls kind of stop coming through. Tasty's usually there to maybe pick up those extra kills that keep his team in the lead. And when those aren't happening, if they're not getting good comms out, it's turning into these fights where FDAB's able to come and win in the last quarter.
Analyzing location.
But, I mean, Pray and Spray, to their credit, they did push that cart very far. They definitely have a good opportunity to try to win here on defense.
Yeah, certainly not over. They showed a lot of signs of life this match, in their early attack on Route 66. And
they're swapping things up big here. Checkers onto the Zarya.
Whoa!
So we got Senpai on the Sombra. Salvo back to his play of the game guarantee.
Okay,
Dealing with Albino Joe.
I actually like this swap a lot. Salvo going over to the Moira, going over to a healer. Not
Did
really.
you see that ball?
What?
That was toss the damage ball. It was awful.
Oh, Pog. Oh, wait, not Pog. Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh,
Senpai
no.
down. And now Crystallize gets a free shot onto Albino Joe, who was not watching off to the side. Not a good start for Pray and Spray here, as they're getting very split. Salvo tossing some nice healing onto the ground, but his team is just going down. Crystallize and Virtual Riot finding all of these kills.
Yeah, and it's just the 2 tanks left for Pray and Spray, as they will maybe just slowly walk out of this one. Probably not. They're gonna get staggered a little bit more. There it is. Senpai. He's back,
Well, let's push
but
the cart.
he's just tickling.
That's
Yeah, it is going pretty slow. You're right. It only had 1 on there for a while, or 0. So
I
there
still
could
think
be another contest here.
there won't be tanks through in time though, so it's gonna be really hard to contest this without tanks. I think Pray and Spray might be best off just giving this. Actually, no, I take that back. They will get a tank there in time.
Yeah.
So Spade's coming through on this round. There is a lot of damage though that's going out. The main healer's down, the main tank is down, and alright, Pray and Spray. This is 0.1 over, I think.
Virtual Riot, he's still alive on this hog. He's really the only one left on the point. I mean, I guess there's Hanzo there. Dirty Dan He is actually gonna pick up the kill on Albino Joe, so don't count him out yet. Senpai with the return kill. Josh Tango with the return hook, and it looks like this will be a stop.
My prediction completely wrong. If the 3-eyed Raven can see the future, I'm the 1-eyed Raven, calling it wrong every time.
I mean, honestly,
I don't know how Pray and Spray turned that.
I have no idea either, because Virtual Riot was in the tunnel waiting for you. Salvo just walks straight into it and dies. So they went into that recontest immediately with one of their supports dying. So some good work out of Pray and Spray to hold that one on. Head Reaver going up to this Ash here. He almost has a Bob. Gonna land some damage onto Wacky Tabaki, who is in the back lines just waiting. He does have the binds up. Oh, Dirty Dan with a nice headshot.
That's
taking
big.
out Head Reaver.
Here we go. Wacky comes in, drops the field. This is going to really split the team apart. Spades being knocked away by Virtual Riot. Here we go. Transcendence coming out of Albino Joe. Trying to heal his team. They are a little split though, so we can't get everyone. And they do lose the main healer. EMP comes out of Senpai though. This could be the big one because the bomb goes up, but the bomb doesn't get anyone. That 6-man EMP somehow doesn't turn into any kills. Now Virtual Riot and Wacky Tabaki have found kills of their own. There's no heals available, no Sombra available, no .1 available for Pray and Spray here. I think as they're getting mopped up, yes, there we go. Kills coming through, .1 captured.
Yeah, a great EMP from Senpai, but really it's a team game at the end of the day, and just the setup wasn't there. I mean, Checkers did try to throw the bomb, but totally not in the right spot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Salvo, or actually Albino Joe, he got headshotted through, or Salvo got headshotted through the Transcendence.
I don't think Salvo was there when the Transcendence went out. I think he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that to me has been the biggest thing so far, is it just does not look like Salvo and Albino Joe are on the same page. But, jeez, it doesn't look like anyone's on the same page as Wacky Tabaki, because he just comes through and tears up Pray and Spray.
Crystallize having another great day on Widow. I mean, maybe we gotta talk about this guy more, honestly, because he switched over to a Widow player essentially this entire season, and I think he's one of the better Widows in the league. At least maybe he plays it well with his team, because he does put out the damage, and he's like a considerable threat in the backline. As I say it though, he shoots into a deflect. Thanks, Crystallize.
He makes a few obvious mistakes every week, but as a whole, he's been playing very well, and it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, and another fight breaks out. Bob's gonna keep the cart stalled there. No further actions can be done, but Crystallize will take him out. Crystallize taking out Albino Joe as well.
Yeah, Cuban Pete, once again, I don't know if that Valve was necessary, but ooh, actually a nice Dragon coming out of Dirty Dan's gonna buy a lot of time. His Spades wants to contest this cart, but he's gonna lose his life, and that's .2 going over to FDAB. They've got almost 4 minutes.
Yeah, looking really good here for FDAB, and I don't think they're gonna be slowed too much
But
here.
this is about how long Pray and Spray had at this point last map, and they were stalled, so hopefully they can keep their head in the game here. There is a lot of defensive opportunity on this last leg of Route 66.
That's true, but I mean, if Crystallize stays on this Widow, it's gonna be tough. He's gonna have a huge long sight line. He's gonna have sights up here.
They made some changes. Sal was actually over to the Winston. Checkers is onto the Mercy now, so they have somebody just no aim, no brain, kill that Widow man. As here we go, Senpai popping the blade. He takes out Cuban Pete. Both of the Mercies are dead. One of the Genjis is dead. Not the most effective blade. As this cart is still moving. His Spades is trying to charge out, and he's just barely gonna make it with a sliver of health, but his team is still being super sick. Now both of the tanks are down for Pray and Spray. This is rough because the cart is almost there. High Noon comes through, finds one. Albino Joe down as well. Spades needs this hammer to be big. It finds two. There's gonna be some damage. Now at least the cart has stopped moving. The tanks are there. No, Henry gets hooked. That was bad. But Checkers is down. She's going in for kills. Does not find them. Crystallizes past the Widowmaker. Final boss.
And FDAB, they are just stabilized. They are strong in their backline support, and their damage dealers are just dishing out the damage, pretty much uncontested. And that will be it. Head Reaper with the late teleport, unfortunately, but FDAB will win Route 66 in the hangar.
Yeah, so let's see. Play of the game here. It's going to be Senpai. Yeah, it was that big High Noon. I think we remembered this one. As I don't have the mechanical skill for this, but you just walk around. Wow, you press Q, bam, 3 back.
That was smooth. That was nice. You got some Lucio speed in there. Just real solid Q pressing from Senpai. But in honesty, McCree is a great pick, especially against the composition that FDAB are running. They're running the tank core that I like to call the solo Q carry tanks, and that's Roadhog and Hammond. Because that happens a lot in solo queue. No one wants to play shield tanks. or Zarya anymore, or Diva rather. Just those two. And there's no shield, and so McCree gets free Deadeyes. He gets pretty much free picking at pretty much anyone in that composition. So a good pick there, but not enough, unfortunately. FDAB just putting out too much damage at too many angles.
Yeah, even if Amazon Prime can one day ship you a triple kill, you need more than that to win a map Overwatch. But maybe Lijiang Tower maybe gets a little more chaotic on King of the Hill. Both of our matches tonight, I picked the King of the Hill was the most chaotic of the 3 maps played, so maybe we'll see that again here between these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It probably doesn't. It won't dissuade FDAB from running the stuff that they've been running currently. But we could see some variation out of Pray and Spray here. I mean, if they Goats does work on a couple of these maps pretty well. It's pretty close quarters. I don't know if they're willing to bring it out though. But at this point, I would leave all options on the table.
Yeah, I guess we will see here. Those are dangerous words you're calling for, but
it is, and I understand that multiple DPS comps tend to have a strength against Goats compositions or tank-heavy compositions, but my strat here, if I were Pray and Spray, is to take out a guy named Virtual Riot on this Roadhog, and they need to do something. They need to purple him and then just rush him. They need to just take him out of the fight before he can just keep getting these hooks after hooks. Ghost might be the answer. You have the Lucio speed boot. You have the Brigitte. We'll see what they do. As we are making some pirate jokes, I guess. Bio break.
Yeah, I
So-
know it's 2 maps maybe not fast enough here. Bladders don't always hold up through the stress. We'll see what Pray and Spray can bring here. They don't want to go 0-6 on this back-to-back versus FDAB. Get that one map, end with on a high note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every map counts, especially between these two teams, right? Who have been sort of fighting in the middle of the table. Fine Dining and Breathe It are on a huge upward trajectory at this point. Yeah, if they win the 3rd map here, I mean, honestly, they look like the strongest team in the league.
Whew. All right, let's wait to see them against some of the other top teams again before I'm ready to say that.
Oh, all right.
They have some momentum right now, but 1 and 5 combined against my team and yours. I just in the back of my head, I keep.
Was that early
myself,
on?
That
oh,
was
those are the
early
first
on.
2 weeks. Oh yeah.
I
No, they're completely different now.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it only looks completely different when you're playing against weak teams.
Whoa.
Heron learned how to donate bits.
Hell yeah, PogChamp. Thanks, Heron911, for the 500 bits.
Dude, isn't that only like 50 cents?
Something like that.
Heron, if you want to win this BOL, you gotta toss a little more change in my pocket, little man.
Is it really only 50 cents?
No, I think it's like $5.
Oh, okay, yeah. that'd be kind of troll just to donate 50 cents.
It's enough to say that you care, but not enough to say that you care a lot. Which, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a
You
time
can buy
for that.
4 50-cent club members for that. Or, well, you can buy 1. I guess for $2 you can get 4.
Alright, so here we go. On to Control Tower. We've got a Tracer Reaper comp coming out of Pray and Spray. We've got Widow Junkrat. Widow Junkrat McCree out of FDAB. Here is Albino Joe gets picked bright and early. That is not good. Spades and Salvo both very low here as everyone's up fighting in this white room, and it's looking very good for FDAB for the 100th fight in a row here.
Oh.
But actually, Senpai does take out Crystallize, and they're buying a lot of time. Albino Joe's speeding back.
Oh!
Virtual Riot does go down. Cupid Pete gets a res on Crystallize, but it might not be enough as Crystallize is going up onto this high ground, though. I don't know who's going to contest him up there as Albino Joe has made it back to this point.
And Wacky Tabaki, he's spinning.
That's
Will
so
the spinning
toxic.
stop? The hook is down, and it looks like, yeah, he's going to peace out as the team will call the retreat, and the point going over to Pray and Spray.
Yeah, well done out of them. They finally stabilize after something goes wrong at the start of the fight.
Yeah. Oh, Senpai gonna get the bad end of the junk gun. I don't know what you call it for Roadhog, but Checkers up in the sky, almost has the Valkyrie here. Evil Light, or sorry, Cupid Pete has the Valkyrie. Checkers does have the Valkyrie. Will we see some Valkyrie action? the light with the tire, takes out Checkers, and Salvo on the other end of the fight with the Death Blossom, but it's not going to be enough, it appears.
Yeah, not a whole lot of ults necessary for FDAB to flip this point. There's a tire and a whole hog come through. They're still holding on. Oh, sorry, they pop Valk as well. I cannot count.
Yeah, so Brain Spray going into this next fight with a definite ult advantage, so we should see them pop them and hopefully take back the point.
Yeah, they got to make sure not to get stagger picked here, because that was happening a lot on Route 66, where they'd have the ult advantage, but then they would just throw a bunch of the fight away, and there it is. Checkers on the Mercy, peeks, gets Widow made. This Tracer's going to take out Dirty Dan with this pulse pop, so we do have a 5v5 available. Senpai, goes down, though. This is still contestable, and I mean, Salvo's in there. No defensive tools available, and that's going to turn into a headshot. They get the res on the Dirty Dan. I think FDAB holds this point for a while, but Fades on this whole hog is being very late staggered, I think. Nope, he's gonna make it out.
Oh, nice. Makes it out with his life. And Head Reaver, he is on the ball. Oh, Crystallize picking out Salvo again, but it's a long sideline, and Mercy will be able to get the res off. And Senpai going down, not risable, so we're gonna wait.
What did we just say? Points. They have to make sure not to give up a bunch of free picks to throw away this ult advantage, because now it's turning to FDAB pushing the tempo here. Dropping a minefield just to buy time, I guess. No! Senpai! Oh, that's too good for that.
Yeah, and oh man, a lot of fight breaking out in server room, but this is a Junkrat wet dream. Just lobbing shit in there, and it's working. Up to 80% now for FDAB. But Josh Danko going down early, so this is crucial. This is Brain Spray's chance to get back into the point. Waxy back, he has to roll back to the defense of his team, which is all chilling on the outside here. He pops the Valk early, but the tire comes through. What can it pick off? And it does pick out Senpai. Also picks out Albino Joe at the end there too. Getting a lot of value out of this Junkrat so far.
Yeah, they did flip the point while all this was going on. FDAB does still have members outside this point. I don't know if they're contesting or not, but now Wacky, he's definitely contesting because he finds two. It's another big minefield from the Wrecking Ball. Cuban Pete, no, you couldn't suicide there. It's a 95!
Yeah, he was floating down the whole time. No one, Evil Light did not go back to the edge to get him a jump target, and he just falls off the edge. But I don't know if it will matter. Maybe not. Spades gets the hook on the Dirty Dan. Evil Light taking out him in return. Checkers does get this res off on the Senpai. Could come out big with the Tracer play here. Virtual Riot on the high ground.
Checkers knocked up into the air. Only a sliver. Checkers and Senpai both going down. Albino Joe dead. Both of the healers dead for Pray and Spray. And that is it. Point one of Li Jiang going over to FDAB. Looking close to that 3-0.
Score.
And man, I gotta call out Albino Joe here. Joey, I love you, man, but he was not on point on that first point of Li Jiang. When you're picking the Lucio, a big part of why you pick the Lucio is because you could just survive through everything. You have the speed, you have the boops, you're just a small little DJ that no one can shoot at, and he was dying first in almost every single fight. Yeah.
And he seems to be the target, at least for Josh Danko, when he's sort of in that backline. I mean, he's either looking for him or Checkers on the other support. But Crystallize having these huge open sight lines, completely uncontested, and there's no shield usually in the way. And Albino Joe
no shield and
in
no
the way.
Dive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just no one's. These people have enough experience to know how to respect the Widowmaker. I think that's part of what's driving me so nuts. Is Albino Joe once again being split from his team by that wall, but it doesn't turn into a kill this time. As both of these teams make it to the point. A lot of damage actually going up. Both of the Lucios traded early, as Virtual Riot does have this turret available. Oh, Checker's gonna get a nice res behind that nade wall off. And I think Pray and Spray, they have the advantage here. They're looking like they want to get this win. As a nice boop out of Albino Joe turns into 2, and that's gonna be point going PAS's way.
Yeah, he heard us, and he wanted to get back into this, show off his skills, and there it is. Pray and Spray once again taking the point first off, which is usually a very good thing at Control.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of having the point. I prefer that to not having the point, to say the least.
I forget the stat, but I remember Overwatch League Season 1, there was a pretty crazy stat about teams winning Control if they got the first cap, and Senpai just sort of floating out in the open there, Crystallize. We'll punish him for that. The res is too unsafe, so Checkers won't go for it here. Whacked it back, he's rolling in. He's looking for something big. Here's the ground slam. Pops up 3 until Albino Joe gets hooked in. But he will survive, and now Salvo getting focused here in the corner. He will go down. Virtual Ride, he is frozen. What can they do here? Checkers, Rez is right in front of the Roadhog. But he does get it off.
There's a nice Lucio shield there to come through, but now Virtual and Dirty Dan are both down. It's looking like that aggressive Rez. The Valkyrie out of Checkers. This could have been enough to hold on to this point as Prey Spray has the advantage. Maywall was splitting off. Wacky to Wacky. Somebody, there we go. Finish that wrecking ball as the Stagers are coming through, but Albino goes down. It shouldn't matter. As Avalite, you would lost that.
Yeah. Unfortunate ultimate usage there, because this whole fight, this whole disjointed fight, Prey Spray holds the point. So they've been just gaining percentage. They're up to 65% now. And FDAB, their ult economy is looking not the greatest. Well, yeah, but it's looking okay. They got 3 coming up.
Didn't waste the dragon there, though. That was definitely some miscommunication on a Prey Spray here. As they're trying their best. Jesus, how high can that hog go? Nearly hits the skybox over the Prey Spray. Oh, Avalite don't gets the boom.
And this fight is very dangerous. Wacky gets hooked over the edge. The Blizzard comes through from Head Reaver, and it will pick off Dirty Dan here. So they will get 90% on the board here. Spades goes over the edge. See you later. Evil Light on this point, trying to cap it back.
Justice.
There's a barrage. He gets 2 kills.
That was huge because now that bunch of chance. Wacky to back isn't here. The minefield was out. The minefield is down, and it gets the kills and flips the point. FDAB, when it looked the most dire and it looked all night, they once again come through in the clutch.
Oh my god, I thought that was gonna be it, but not right now, I suppose, because FDAB now has the point and they can stabilize. They do have the Valkyrie, they're gonna have the Deadeye, and they're gonna have, most importantly, the whole hog from Virtual Riot.
I can't believe we're saying that not ironically, but the whole hog really does feel like the most important ult here. As Virtual Riot, he's in on this point, and here it is. It's hog. It's hog. There is down.
See you later. Oh my god, and it gets 2 with it. Gonna hook Salvo over the edge as well. Give this guy a medal. He deserves it. There's another one. See you later.
He's a monster.
And they're not even respecting him, dude. Like, he's standing near the edge and he's just hooking him in.
And that turned into a fairly long fight. I mean, we're already at 55% here for FDAB. By the time this team spawns and gets into position, I think we're looking at the last fight, potentially map point here for Prey and Spray.
Yeah, it depends on how much Prey and Spray. Oh, there it is! Oh my god, I saw that one come from a mile away, but it's okay. Senpai with the dragon starts this one off, and they are going in. They're using stuff.
Yeah, and actually, FDAB almost gives up the point, but Wacky goes high, drops the mines. Still, though, no one quite getting kills, but now that's Checkers down. That's a big one. She had the valve, did not use it, and that's a lot of prayers that will no longer be sprayers. And I think this is it. Point flips back unless Senpai makes some magic happen. This point is gonna flip back. Who is on? I guess it was the Tracer for a while, but there we go. Point.
What? Oh. Checkers got the res off somehow in the middle of the FDAB team. Head Reaver with the Blizzard. This could be what they needed to start this one off, but Albino Joe's just getting a little too forward there. Gets picked off. The May going down as well, and Evil Light could be uncontested here on this bear, and it looks like this might be the end here. Spades the last hope on this hog. What can he do here?
Not a lot, it's looking like, as his hog is less whole. Josh Danko wins one last hog duel, and FDAB takes the map, takes the match 3-0.
Wowzers, that was a fun one.
That was insane. Play the game. It's got to be Evelite. Just maybe 15 seconds after I call him out for a battle, Evelite comes through.
This is such a clutch moment.
Oh no, it's a different.
Look at this.
Oh, this is not what I thought it was. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. That was like 15 seconds after he had just ulted too.
Yeah.
Epic.
Unreal.
Yeah, Evil Light coming up big with some fair play. Gotta hand it to them on that. But honestly, that clutch moment might have just saved the whole thing for them because they were able to flip the point off of it.
Awesome play out of FDAB.
Yeah, as they go 3-0 on the night and they continue their win streak.
Yeah,
9 in a row, right?
Yeah, 9 in a row, 11 of the last
actually
12.
11 in a row. Well, I don't know how the TMG series actually went. So but 9 for sure.
You get to feel good about that one if you're
Yeah.
FDAB. They want to cement themselves in this cream of the crop here, and this maybe looking like potentially top 3 teams of the league. Maybe the divider is Pray and Spray. They have a lot more questions than they had a few weeks ago. Obviously, they've missed key players these last 2 weeks, so they're going to try to write this off. But it's rough to lose 6 straight like that.
Yeah, agreed. But hopefully they're able to get their full roster back in and start gelling and get in some map wins as we move into the end of the season here. Last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so I think that's going to do it from us, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in again. We will be back. Same place, same game, week from the day. Cut the stream. Dude, I can't believe we didn't kick Josh out after we did that.
Yeah, I
Seriously,
know,
like,
dude.